Well, good afternoon, everyone. What a great day. It's really a pleasure to be here to celebrate the continuation of our massive infrastructure program powered by the nation's most comprehensive capital plan, Rebuild Illinois. Thanks to Mayor Terry Carr for welcoming us to McCook. I also want to thank our Transportation Secretary, Omer Osman, who you'll hear from shortly. His partnership has truly been invaluable throughout the last 5.5 years. And Kevin McCardle, you'll also hear from shortly, of ACEC. We can't get this work done without him and his member companies. And of course, special thanks to our friends in organized labor. Can't do any of it without them. Business manager of the Chicago Laborers District Council, Jim Connolly, Executive Secretary Treasurer of the Mid-America Carpenters Regional Council, Kevin McLaughlin, who's going to join us, hasn't arrived quite yet, and President of Cook County Building Trades, Mike Masaleo. You all represent the men and women who are the real builders of everything that we're talking about today. And I am truly proud to say that hundreds of thousands of your members are delivering modernized and safer transportation for the working families of Illinois. Rebuild Illinois has been among my highest priorities since I was elected governor. And there have been, frankly, years before that where our infrastructure had been neglected and disinvested from. Our roads and bridges, our airports and river ports had been crumbling. Not only was that holding back Illinois' economic growth, but it was making our residents less safe and our communities less connected to one another. Illinois has long been a multimodal hub for national and regional travel and freight movement, but that status had been put in jeopardy. 5 years ago, we stood together when I signed the bipartisan Rebuild Illinois infrastructure plan into law. We made it clear that this wasn't just a plan to rectify the shortcomings of the past, but it was instead to build something better for our future. And standing with all of you today, we should all take pride that our vision is being realized. In fact, CNBC now ranks Illinois as one of the best states in the nation for infrastructure, and it's a status that we have earned. These multi-year plans have been the blueprints every year guiding us toward our goal. Over the next 6 years, stretching all the way to fiscal year 2030, we will continue making historic investments into improving every aspect of our infrastructure and in every part of the state from top to bottom. These thousands of projects speak to the comprehensive vision of Rebuild Illinois, a plan that understands how interconnected our transportation systems really are and the need to consistently improve them at every level: roads and bridges, aviation, transit, freight and passenger rail, waterways, bicycle paths, pedestrian accommodations. $30 billion to improve and modernize 3,214 miles of state roads. By the way, we've already completed about 5,000 miles of roads across the state. And going forward, in addition to those 3,200 miles we yet have to pave and repair and modernize, we're also doing the same for nearly 9 million square feet of bridges across the state. $7.5 billion to upgrade our transit systems, $2.5 billion for rail projects, $1.6 billion for aviation funding, and over $160 million for our ports and our waterways. These are real, tangible projects that will have a direct impact on the strength of our economy and the quality of life for our residents. Like right here on Interstate 55, where we're putting a total of $364 million into upgrading and modernizing this heavily trafficked corridor. That money will rehabilitate 49 bridges stretching from Chinatown to Wolf Road and reconstructing the Cicero Avenue and Harlem Avenue interchanges to increase walking and biking accommodations too. The benefits of that investment in reduced congestion, in efficiency, in commerce, in quality of life for our residents will pay for themselves. It would take me all day to list off every airport, rail line, roadway, bus system, and bike path that we're going to upgrade and modernize, so I won't try to do that. But know that this plan is guiding the build-out of a world-class transportation system that all of Illinois deserves, and we are creating hundreds of thousands of quality jobs while doing it. The projects that we're working on, the fact that our infrastructure is improving is being recognized by people all over the United States and frankly in a whole lot of places across the world. I was just in Canada over the last 4 days, and I heard over and over again from them, how did you get all the infrastructure rebuilt? How are you able to do that? And also saying they'd like to figure it out for themselves. In fact, driving around Quebec, I had people say to me when I would arrive places, sorry about all the potholes. Consistently, one after another, sorry about all the potholes. So I can say to all of you, sorry about the orange cones you see if you're slowed down in traffic, but in another way I'll say sorry, not sorry. We're gonna have decades of roads and bridges, airports, river ports that have been rebuilt and that are the best in the nation. So far, we've actualized $14.8 billion of improvements just on the highways side alone with IDOT. Local governments and union workers hard at work bringing our vision to life and building the best infrastructure in the nation. Today, we take another step toward that future. I want to thank you all once again for being here today. One of the very best parts of being governor is getting to see these investments come to life, knowing all the good that they will do for our people and our businesses, every job that we create, every commute we make easier, every accident that we prevent. That is what this work is all about. I'm proud to stand with you, alongside you today as we enter the next chapter for our great state and lay the literal foundation for a brighter future for Illinois. So with that, I'm proud to hand it over to a more than 30-year veteran of IDOT, our great Transportation Secretary, Omer Osman. Omer?
Good afternoon. So, Governor, thank you. Thank you so much for your kind words. 35 years is June 1st, 35 years, just a couple of weeks ago. And I'm blessed in so many ways. Once again, Governor, thank you for the kind words and for your leadership in making another landmark day in Illinois transportation possible. I would also like to give a shout out to the team here at our Stephen Maintenance Yard facility. What a great building, and I hope you all are enjoying this new facility. The day of the year when the governor announces the multi-year program is special to me because the partnership that is always on display. Labor, industry, the state and local partners coalescing around the importance of transportation and investing in communities. I want to take a moment, as I usually do, to acknowledge some of the IDOT staff who are here. Our Director of Highways, Chief Engineer, is Steve Travia. So Steve, who after 30 plus years will be retiring soon from IDOT, and I know he's leaving a legacy of safety and mobility that will be very, very tough to match. So thank you, Steve, for all you have done for the department. Our Deputy Secretary, Terry Glavin, is here. Deputy Secretary Jeremy LaMarche is here. Chief Operating Officer John Donovan, Region 1 Engineer Jose Rios, whose team helped put this event together. John Schumacher, who is the Bureau Chief of Construction in the district. But critical to making this day happen is our Office of Planning and Programming staff, who put in many, many hours compiling our multi-year program, and many, many others. This multi-year program we are releasing today is perhaps the most significant ever for IDOT, showcasing the real strength and impact of Rebuild Illinois. At $41.42 billion over 6 years, it is the largest MYP in our state history. We literally have projects touching each and every one of the 102 counties we have in our great state. As the governor noted, the program identifies $29.65, literally $30 billion, to invest in our roads and bridges over the next 6 years, including $5.3 billion for this upcoming fiscal year alone. And some of that work will be focused right here on I-55, where we are bringing in 49 bridges into a state of good repair and making improvement to enhance safety, traffic flow, and active transportation options at the interchanges with Harlem Avenue and Cicero Avenue in the latter year of the program. Combine those investments with nearly $12 billion identified for transit, rail, aviation, waterways, and bike and pedestrian accommodation, and you have a program that puts more work on the street than ever before. That was the promise of the governor's capital program when it was launched 5 years ago. A sustained commitment to investing in infrastructure over time and across all modes of transportation. And that's what we are continuing to deliver today. As always, we will be proceeding with a commitment, unvarnished commitment, to provide equity and build a workforce that reflects the diversity of our great state of Illinois. We won't have it any other way. We will not have it any other way. And that remains, thank you, and that remains the blueprint as we rebuild Illinois. Thank you for having us. Thank you for coming out today. And with that, it is my pleasure to introduce Mr. Mike Masaleo. Mike.
Thank you, Secretary. Good afternoon. The Chicago and Cook County building trades are proud to join in support of Governor Pritzker's multi-year plan, with significant investments in highway maintenance work across Illinois. These continuing investments will ensure there's steady work for our skilled tradesmen and women who will work on these projects for years to come, with over $1.5 billion in highway and road projects in Cook County alone. Our union members have the skill and expertise that will ensure every project is completed to the highest standards in the industry, delivering the quality and durability that the Illinois taxpayer deserves. On behalf of the hardworking men and women of the Chicago and Cook County building trades, I want to express our sincere gratitude to Governor Pritzker for his leadership and support of our state's infrastructure and workforce. We are proud to stand with the governor in this endeavor. With that, I'd like to introduce Kevin Artle with ACEC.
Good afternoon, I'm Kevin Artle with the American Council of Engineering Companies of Illinois. We represent over 11,000 engineers, architects, land surveyors, and other specialists across the state. And I'd like to thank Governor Pritzker and Secretary Osmond for once again demonstrating their commitment to rebuild Illinois through this multi-year plan that has dedicated significant resources to the maintenance and upgrade of our state's infrastructure network. I want to especially thank Governor Pritzker, who 5 years ago knew that if Illinois wanted to build roads across the state, we had to build some bridges in Springfield first, and he worked hard to secure a bipartisan coalition that supported the Rebuild Illinois that is now providing historic funding for Illinois. This historic level of funding announced today will help ensure that our state's transportation network is modernized, safe, and ready for the challenges of the 21st century economy. These investments will also help to attract more businesses and skilled talent to our state, creating new job opportunities and contributing to the growth of our economy. They will ensure that Illinois products, both manufactured and agricultural, can efficiently and quickly get to markets across the globe. Make no mistake, our efforts to modernize our transportation network right here have a global impact. With steady, adequate, and consistent funding for Rebuild Illinois, Illinois engineering companies will be able to attract skilled engineers from within the state and across the country to work on local, transformative projects. Illinois engineers are among the nation's most innovative and visionary, and Rebuild Illinois is giving them an opportunity to show the world what Illinois can accomplish. Once again, I'd like to thank IDOT, the entire team of IDOT, Secretary Osmond, for putting together another historic plan to upgrade and expand our road, rail, and transit and port infrastructure. The American Council of Engineering Companies of Illinois supports the actualization of this plan, and we once again would like to thank Governor Pritzker and Secretary Osmond for their support. And with that, I'll hand it back to Governor Pritzker.
Happy to take any questions from members of the media. Craig. Thank you. So the Supreme Court decision, as you know, was not a Second Amendment decision. It was a decision about whether the ATF has the authority to issue the rules that they put out back then. And so obviously they've decided the ATF does not have that. I do think it's going to spur action at the state level as well as the federal level to try to once again ban bump stocks. Here in Illinois, we've already done that. We do not need to take action here to fill in what the Supreme Court has taken away from other states. I don't think this has any bearing at all on that, and that's why I pointed out that this is not a Second Amendment ruling. It's really a ruling about the regulatory authority of the ATF. Hi. Well, from my perspective, we're getting feedback. Those hearings are useful to hear what people have to say. There are people on both sides at those hearings. I know that that AFSCME, tends to pack them, and you saw that with the folks who were wearing their green T-shirts. But we want to hear what people have to say. It's important in determining what the final plan ultimately will be. Nobody's put out a final plan. We did suggest, importantly, that we are going to have to make a change. And it is, we let people know that the likelihood is, remember, there was a report that was put out a year ago that told you a lot about what's going on in the correction system with facilities. It's clear that much more ultimately will need to be done to upgrade or change the facilities we already have. This is just the beginning, but it's an important beginning, and Stateville's certainly on that list of the worst of the facilities, as well as Logan, the need to change there. So I think it's important for people to express themselves. We want to hear that. I know there will be people who are disappointed with whatever the final outcome ultimately will be. And it may be that changes might get made along the way, but no final decisions have been made. Well, again, the role, in my view, of COGFA is to take in that public comment. And to make recommendations in their vote. It shouldn't be an up or down vote on something. This is a state endeavor. The legislature is ultimately going to have a lot to say along the way here. We want to listen to that. But this is a public comment period that COGFA is offering, and so that's an important part of what will take place over the coming months. I wouldn't say, I don't think I'd use the word concerned exactly. I think that this is challenging. You know, when people are being sent to Chicago, when most of them can't get work permits, and when, you know, we have a real responsibility, in my view, just like we do to anybody who is in the city of Chicago or in the state of Illinois who doesn't have the resources maybe to care for themselves yet or have the ability to get a job. You know, we have some responsibilities to carry out. The city is doing the best that it can with the resources that it has. The state is providing support for those endeavors. We have seen a steady decline before this latest round of, you know, what you're describing. We've seen a steady decline of people that are in the shelters, and it's because people have found other means to care for themselves. Sometimes it's friends that they know or communities that have been willing to take them in around the country. A number of people have left and gone, for example, to the Venezuelan community there's a large Venezuelan community, the largest in the country, in Florida. A number have chosen that, or other cities that they have found friends or relatives in. And so, you know, again, this is not an easy endeavor, but we're all working together, and it is working, I think, better than many people had expected. And we'll keep caring for the people who need us most. I'm not sure what those precautions might be. I mean, we certainly have made sure that we're addressing many of the major issues that we're facing in terms of people who shouldn't have weapons, obtaining them, trying to make sure that we're taking weapons away from people who have weapons now who shouldn't have them. As you know, we also, in addition to banning bump stocks, we also banned switches, which turn a regular gun or a semi-automatic gun, either one, into essentially a machine gun, just like a bump stock does for a semi-automatic weapon. We've banned those. And we, of course, took action, one of the 11 states in the country now that has a ban on assault weapons. And frankly, if you look at the numbers of crimes that have been committed with an assault-type weapon in Illinois anyway, they've gone down. So that's the goal ultimately, right? We want to make sure that people have lawful ownership of a gun if they have one, and that people who shouldn't have them don't get them, and that the guns that are available are ones that meet the requirements of, you know, not being machine gun-like and not being a real danger to the public, but rather for self-defense or for hunting. We signed a memorandum of understanding with Ontario, which is a large, prosperous province that includes Toronto, and Waterloo, which is a technology hub in Canada. I met with many, many companies while I was there and had discussions with them about the terrific manpower and talent that we have in Illinois that's such a great attraction for businesses, as well as the incentives that we offer to companies to come here. And as has happened with all the trade missions, there haven't been that many, but the trade missions that I've taken, you know, you begin dialogue, you follow up and make sure the relationship gets stronger and stronger. And ultimately, as you've seen, it yields results for the people of Illinois. Charlie.
Today, the CTU is starting its negotiation session with the public schools. In the past, the mayor has said he feels he owed about $1 billion from the state for funding schools. Is there any appetite in Springfield to come up with a funding package that will satisfy the demands of the CTU?
Well, we did. We came up with a funding package that is expanded by almost $500 million to schools all across the state of Illinois. Every year that I've been governor, we've increased the amount of funding to K-12 schools. We've improved funding significantly for preschool for childcare for those earliest years, and of course for higher education. So we're committed in Springfield, many of us, to improving our funding for schools across the state, and the city of Chicago is the largest beneficiary of those funding improvements. Thank you.